it'll make you sick to your stomach to know everything that's going on, know the experiences that people have gone through in here. And these are supposed to be people that you trust and that are supposed to be there to help you, and they're just trying to get rid of you.
What we've turned the schools into is basically extensions of the police force, and they're not really schools anymore. They're starting to resemble more and more like prison-like complexes where you have police walking the halls these days, and dogs and drug-sniffing dogs walking the hallways.
What's the lesson here? The lesson is that the most cherished institution that we have, or we have had in the past, one that speaks in the most direct way to how a society wants to invest in the future by virtue of how it feels about youth, now all of a sudden models a prison.
This is our main entry building. We have the main control center that processes everyone through the institution. They're in charge of all the doors, cameras, everything that happens in the facility goes through the control center. This is the entry officer with the entry desk here. Everyone that comes to the institution has to process through this entry desk. So I'll go ahead and process through. We have the buckets here for the personal property, so we just take everything off. All jewelry has to come off. Everything out of all pockets has to come out so the officer can check all the property. Once you have everything out, then you go step through the metal detector. If it goes off like that and you don't pass, then you have to make sure your pockets are removed.
This is a wonderful security force. They do a great job of making sure that we're safe in the building. Again, everyone that comes in has to check in with them, and then they tell them which part of the building to go through. We do have a metal detector to ensure safety. Every student that enters the building comes in through a metal detector in various points of the building, but there's no other way to get in unless you pass through. So it's a little tedious, but once the kids get used to it, the line moves a little bit quicker.
One of the things also we have here, anytime you have a door, the secured side port door, we have a camera focused on that door. That way, that whenever staff want to access into the area, the control center officers can look in the camera and see exactly who's there. So we know exactly who's going in and out of doors. And we're not just letting anyone access any part of the institution at any time. So that's one of the very important security features we have here is our camera system, and it's utilized very often on a day-to-day basis.
The cameras, you have security cameras also?
Yes, we have security cameras through, I would say, 90% of the building. There's some areas that aren't covered by the cameras, but yeah, we try to make sure we know what's going on in the building, especially in the hallways. Again, if we see kids in the hallway that they're not, in an area they're not supposed to be, the department chairpersons and the vice principals and security come quickly.
This is our library. We have a full-time librarian that's here. We also have a full law library in back. The law library is for the inmates to use to check on case law or administrative regulations so they know exactly what the rules and regulations are. Then they can use the book and then he returns it to the law library.
I'm going to go around to the library now.
No, it's locked on the inside.
Very nice sized library. I mean, I don't know. Do you need to go in here or?
One of the other things we do here is let the inmates express themselves, and we have some inmates that are very good painters, so they've done murals like you see here on the wall. They also paint throughout the institution year-round, so all the walls are freshly painted.
Ceiling tiles. Again, it's I don't know what the design pattern was, but the tiles, what happens is there's a lot of piping and stuff in there. And when there's a leak or something, the water pools up there, some of the tiles fall. They used to have a net that was going up and across.
This is one of our general classrooms. This classroom here is used for reading and teaching reading skills, writing, grammar, English. And as you can see, it's set up just like a normal classroom. So we actually employ teachers to come in and teach.
This is a locker room for some of the sports teams also. But I think the soccer team is there, depending on the season. If it's soccer season, the soccer team has it. If it's baseball, then the baseball team hangs out in there. But this is probably one of the larger classrooms. There may be one or two that are bigger.
Correct. Mr. Stephen Campos, if you're in the building, please call security or stop by the security desk. Mr. Campos, if you're in the building, please call 4949 or stop by the security desk. Thank you.
This is part of the business department.